Scruffy Audio Network.
Let's do it. Hey, for everybody out there that watches my show or listens to me, this guy is like a son to me. I'm back-to-back weekends of Brian White last week to Mike McKenry, the only guy that I would trust taking over the wood gym if I passed away today on the mountain bike or in the weight room. God willing, that's one of the 2 days I go. 2 ways I go. All right, Mike McKenry, welcome to the show. How are you, my man?
I'm doing good. Thanks, Chaz, for having me. And you're like my big brother, and I appreciate the kind words.
Dude, I'm so excited. I mean, I hope I do a part 2 with you, and you're sitting across the table from me just to get back in here and get some work. The difference of you to Brian White is he came in last Friday and did a workout, and he hasn't been in the wood gym for 10 years. He's done some of the turkey rides, but not the wood gym. He was demolished just because of and he has a trainer. He works out with a group in Charlotte, North Carolina. He's decently fit, but like you and I have always talked, and I feel like I could talk to you the most out of everybody is the means and measures and the metrics of getting numbers so you keep pushing the bar. You know what I'm saying? So he's not done a plyo hurdle in forever, and he turned to me and goes, well, can you still do them? And I'm like, yeah, I can't jump like Harrison Smith, but I could still do them. Like, it's still part of the program. And he said, that's the difference is he goes, I can't replace the wood gym and what it does and how you do it. So talk about, for the listeners and viewers out there, talk about how we got together and our journey, and then your baseball career, and then your jersey's up on the wall, your bat's here. Everybody always says if somebody could succeed you and take over the business, I mean, there's not a hesitation in my mouth. Mike McKenry could do it, So tell me how, like you were brought to the wood gym and even how you're still doing it now, being an announcer for the Pittsburgh Pirates, out of the game now, but you're still like, I love when you send me video of you training and it makes it. I love that you still like my approval and I'm so proud of what you're doing. Again, that's how I came up with the show. The wood gym people are type A personalities like yourself. Is like we never sit still. Again, I'm going to say it again. Well, I don't know how many shows we got, Ben. 40 shows, 30 shows. Is we go to bed thinking about how to get better, and we wake up thinking about how to get faster, better, stronger. Those are the wood gym people. Those are the type A wood gym people. Now, this is a different podcast show than Dr. James Chu and I are doing the Lost Generation Part 6 series. That's totally different. The wood gym are straight savages like yourself that keep pushing the limits, no boundaries, keep moving the bar, setting the goal. I set that up. I teed it up. Now, let's talk away. I want to hear you, and they want to hear you.
So first, going back to what you were just saying about Whitey being back in the gym, is there's a different element. When you walk into that gym, the feel it has, kind of that old school meets the new school approach, because you're never stopping to learn, Chaz. Is even when I would come back, I live in Murfreesboro now, when I would come back and train when I played, there was a different vibe, there was a different energy, and that starts with you day in, day out. And I think setting the standards of 90% year-round, being able to back squat your body weight times 2.5, and then all those standards you did, the 24-inch hurdle, the box jumps, you've kept them, you've walked the walk, not just talk the talk. And a lot of trainers throughout the country that I've met, they like to talk more than they actually like to walk, and you're a guy that can do both, and that's what makes you special.
Oh, man. I tell you, though, I've been so blessed to have people like you that are still doing it and still setting the same standard and never settling and really never buying into the new gimmicks out there. And I think that's where, sometimes I get passed up from somebody else wanting to train a different style or something new coming down the pipe, and I just won't. I can't do that. It's not like I don't adjust, but I sure as heck can't just throw away our philosophies of how we train. Of certain standards will always have to be there, And each year I pick up new baseball guys, and I got new guys this year, and it's just so funny. I mean, it's almost like I wish Mikey was here just to show everybody there's nothing wrong with being strong. You know what?
Believe it.
and then you go from a base from there because, Mikey, I mean, we could have a roundtable discussion. I think the baseball facility training is it's over sport specific, and they forget about just getting strong and then getting into sport specific. So, we just have all baseball guys here. And I don't believe in one culture like that. And I think that's what separates the Wood Gym is you have everybody and anybody. I mean, right now on the floor, you have an ex-athlete. I have Art Kelly from high school to college. He's out there banging it with Nicky Delmonico, draft out of high school, played at your alma mater, Farragut High School. With the White Sox, free agent now. He's back in town training. Then you got a Farragut baseball player out there that's training with those two guys. And then you got a former athlete that I trained that is a senior at UT and going off to law school, wants to be a sport agent. They're out there training together. I mean, where else can you get that environment? But they're all driven. It's a Friday afternoon, and they could be doing a lot of different things, but they're trying to get a little bit better, and everybody's squeezing out their own percent. And, my big motto is 10% better today, and I think everybody could do that, whether, it's a mountain bike ride that I'm going to do between sessions here and get back here 4 to 6 and just get a little bit better, and I think, back in the day, you and I mean, hell, you did everything and anything. And I think people even were talking about that is Mikey was the guy that if we road bike, we did a road bike. If we did a mountain bike, we did a mountain bike. If we jumped hurdles, we jumped hurdles. If we did heavy bodybuilding, we did heavy bodybuilding. You want powerlifting, we did powerlifting. You want Olympic lifting, we did Olympic lifting. Now, I'm not saying every cat's like that. I'm not saying I got a Washington National pitcher in here now. He's not going to do that. Hell, I got to start him from a basic clean pull, and he's been all over the country at all these sports performance baseball places, and he doesn't even know how to pull off the platform. Okay, well, I'm not saying that's the end all, but that's got to be part of the program, correct?
Correct. So let's go back to what you were just saying, because that kind of ties us back into how I got with you.
Mm-hmm.
I was a sophomore going in my junior year. I knew I needed more, and I never felt like anybody could push me the way I needed to be pushed to kind of get over the edge. I was always told I was too small, I was too stocky, I couldn't do this, couldn't do that. So what happens? I get a hold of you, and of course, you being you're tough to get a hold of sometimes. You kind of push back, but looking back at that was part of the process. That was part of the mind games. You started playing with me to see how bad I really wanted it. Now, never forget the first time I walked in, I told you my story. I only had so much money to be able to do this. I was paying out of my own bank account. I didn't take Christmas presents. I said, Charlie, I want to be a Major League Baseball player. I want to be an All-American. And both those things happened. But what started it was when I walked in that gym, I'm there early, you show up late, and I swear to this day it was part of the process of you trying to get my oodly noop. I get on the bike. You say, hey, get on the bike. When I say you're done, but stay above 90 RPMs. I'd never done anything like that. An hour and a half later, I'm soaking wet. I'm literally about to throw up. I've never felt that way in my entire life, but I didn't stop. I didn't get to 90 RPMs the whole time, but I did not stop. I remember you coming over, slapping me on the ass and saying, you're going to be all right. And then we came back the next day, and I did it again with another guy. I remember the Beast. That's how it worked out with that day.
That's crazy. You remember that guy. Yeah.
It was completely different element. We did, 10-yard starts. We did the T drill. We did all the combine stuff. And then all of a sudden the bus comes in and we start doing deadlifts and hypers and all these different things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in love. This is the place for me. This makes my blood boil. This guy, some way, shape, or form, was supposed to be in my life a long time ago, but now's the time, and you'll forever be my guy. Not just in the weight room, but you're my mentor. You're a guy I look up to. There are no other standards in my mind, because just like you were talking about that National League pitcher, you always talked about when you walk in the weight room as an athlete, you're no longer a baseball player or whatever. So if you can high pull, you're a better athlete. If you can snatch, you're one of the premier athletes. Back squat, box squat, no matter what you're doing, when you walk in that weight room, if you can jump a hurdle and it starts out as one of those little skills hurdles, that's where it starts. But your standard should be a 24-inch hurdle, and you should build from there. Everybody's got different standards depending on who you are, where you're at in your training. But your theology behind what you're doing always creates a baseline, and you can always see where you're going no matter what, because you know where you should be, because you make that very evident really fast for people.
Well, that just hits home again, where we got to get you back up here, for 24 hours just to spark the old man back. You know what I'm saying? I need to, iron sharpens iron. I need to be checked too. I need to get that metrics back, because it's people like you that keep me on my game. It's one thing that, you against you in the mirror. We talk about that, and that's a beautiful thing, but it's like, I don't have a lot of Mike McKenrys in this wood gym right now, and I don't know if that's a dying breed. I don't know. You hit on a good point is, if you're not going to turn yourself over when you walk in that gym going, I'm not a baseball player, I'm not a football player, I'm a power athlete, and I'm in here getting after it, it almost doesn't work. And we've had people like that, quite frankly. It's not for everybody. It's on my new shirts, it's and that's okay. It's no harm, no foul. But if you're not willing, and, we could get biblical again, but if you're not willing to go all in, blue chips mean blue balls. You know what I'm saying? You got to go big. You got to get the big balls and go after it. And if you're not going to with anything, it doesn't work. So if you're paying the money to come in and train, and you're not willing to just, sacrifice 3 months to go, I'm all in, it doesn't work. But you've always been coachable, and in this, being around what you've been at the highest level of your sport, if you're not coached, willing to be coached, and willing to take advice, I don't think you grow. And as well as I know, and Luke Cochaver was in this morning, and we sat and rapped for a couple hours. He's a Kansas City Royal pitcher that's retired now, that still comes in just to feel the vibe of the guys and get things going. And we talked about the people that don't ask for advice and have all the answers, really don't have any of the answers. They really are the people that are stuck most of the time, and my youngest daughter, who's still weight training her tail off, she'll FaceTime me every day going, Dad, are my feet close on RDLs? Or Dad, or what? She's not saying I got it, because you trained me, for 16 years. It's like she still asks, and when she still asks, I'm like, she's still growing. And as well as I know, when people stop asking for advice, I think they stall. And I see that so much in this business of they have all the answers. And as well as I know, is with the Google and the Wikipedia, everything is shut down. Everybody's a know-it-all, and they got it. And you basically, and what were the baseball guys talking today? The velocity of the balls, barometrics, or what's that called?
The analytics?
Yeah.
Biomechanics, analytics, the spin rate.
Yeah, the spin rate, to where, I said, whatever happened with, hey, that guy looks fast, or that guy looks strong, instead of, and they even said it's part of it now. I was told that some people have the rosters printed out and handed to the manager and go, this is how you're playing today.
Correct. Yep.
Wowie.
The human element, which I think you're a master at, is disappearing in the sport as we know it. And the people that can blend the new school and the old school are the ones that are having the most success, like the Houston Astros. Nationals just won the World Series. No coincidence that they had a blend of older players and younger players. When they say older players are getting pushed out of the game, they went out and got some of the older free agents that ended up helping propel that team. And I think, Charlie, that's the thing, is when you're talking about going into that wood gym, the balance. I remember having the opportunity to work out with Jimmy Haslam and some of the guys that ran Pilot and some of his bigwigs around Knoxville. And I remember them pouring into me. That's actually played out after baseball. I'm in two businesses. I'm consulting. I'm mentoring guys. I'm doing things that I learned from people and you inside that gym, because it's not just hey, we're going to go around and throw around some steel. There's something completely different when you walk in. Like you just said, Hoach is in there for a reason, so he can grow, so he can continue to learn, so he can stay in the now of what's going on in growth, that growth mindset, not that fixed mindset. And that's what you are, Chaz. It's like you've done it. You put yourself in harm's way so many different times, and it's not comfortable. I mean, the first time I mountain biked, the first time I road biked, I was terrified that I was going to get hit by an 18-wheeler. But I went out and did it. I conquered that fear, and I got better from it. Yeah, did I get physically better? Yeah, but mentally is where I really took off, because I was able to do things that I never thought I'd be able to do. I remember jumping a cliff when we were out there on the mountain bike. You didn't tell me it was coming. It was about 5 feet, and I just remember flying off the handlebars. I fell. I didn't get hurt, and I was like, all right, I'm good. You know, like wipe it off, keep up, and keep going. And that's how I took it into my career. It's like played with a hurt knee, played with a slightly torn hamstring from a collision at the plate, had a torn labrum, and you told me you should keep snatching, and my shoulder got better, where everyone else was saying, no, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. Well, that wasn't working. Let's try something different. And that's the thing, is the questions kids are asking, they're asking Google, and they're taking their own interpretation instead of saying, hey, what do you think? You've been around longer. You've seen more things. You've worked through injury. They're almost impossible not to have, especially when life hits and bad things are happening. You're not getting enough sleep. Nutrition's not good because you're taking care of family members. That stuff you've been through, that's life. You can't take away that. And that's what you bring constantly. But you put that aura in other people around to pour that in. You would constantly push guys my direction, push guys to Harrison Smith when he was younger, not when he was older, because that's when it became all business. But you push guys to certain directions. Whitey was a guy you push guys to. DeBusk was guys you push guys to when you needed to know, all right, I can't do it all, but I'm going to delegate because this is what this guy needs right now. And that's the element that is truly, truly special when you walk in that gym, because the matching of putting personalities together to have success and you being able to read people that way is what makes you very unique and what will always make you unique.
Oh, man. No, Mike, he's you know, from him and Brian White back-to-back weekends, Ben, it's really cool, because Mikey's also, just like a Whitey, he's a realist with who he is, what he is as an athlete. So it was so easy to train because there weren't any false expectations of what he's never going to be, but he could be this. And that's what the best of the best are like. This is what I can't do, but I could do all these. So make me the best I could be. And Mikey, what year was that when you had I don't know, was it MLB history longest game? Wasn't it like 18 innings and it was on Fox News? And, you know, you were the catcher because you were that physical guy that, you know, show me an hour in the wood gym and I'll show you a man of what his character is, and I could probably pinpoint it and tell him exactly what he's going to excel and not excel in. And you were that guy that's like, this guy's going to put – and you know, it's such a cliche, but it works. He's going to put his hard hat on, pack his lunch box, and he's going to go to work. Now everybody goes, oh, well, that's not a talented guy. This is one of the most talented athletes I've ever trained, and he's one of the most toughest guys that I've ever been around to do stuff. So when he's not at the plate, whether he's at the plate or behind the plate, he's giving you everything. And there's not 110% people. I hate to say that. It's only 100%, but okay. And that's what he's giving. You know what I'm saying? But talk about your rise, you know, from you were an All-American at Middle Tennessee State University. And then I don't know if you defied the odds of making it all the way through, but you know, you were just that guy. You were a Petrone guy. You were just going to outwork everybody with talent. That doesn't mean I'm going to outwork everybody without talent. That doesn't, you know, you're not going to excel. That's me. That's how I became a trainer. I outworked everybody without talent. So that's, you know,
that's not true. You're very talented. Don't lie.
I mean, it's just the fact that you made it to the highest level and, you know, had some damn good careers with the Colorado Rockies and Pittsburgh Pirates. And that game, that was on Fox News, and I had more people come up to me, like you said, the businessmen that worked out with you. Hey, I worked out with that guy. Just like, Yanni Gomes just won the Nationals, and everybody's in here going, hey, I worked out with that guy. It's like, that's super cool.
Yeah, and too, like, I think people need to realize I didn't work out with them in the sense of like, hey, I'm going to go work out with Jimmy Haslam at the Wood Gym. No, I met you at your house at 5:30 in the morning, and we went because you said, hey, why don't you come work out with these guys, get to know these guys that are on hits, not just your – hold on, my dog's going nuts. You hear this guy?
Yeah, let's see what's going on.
Look at this. Oh, he's good. He's good.
What type of dog you got?
He's a Cavapoo. I'll show you.
Is that the same one you guys traveled with?
Yeah, Griff.
Yeah. That's the same dog?
Yeah. Look at him go. See that? Look at him go. Petrone trained right there.
Look at all that speed.
Right there.
Dude, that's nice. Look at all that.
Yeah. He's doing sleds earlier today.
I forgot that I did pack you up and go, hey, let's go down to Pilot and just be a part of that training, which was, 30, 40 minutes of a 5 exercise, 4 rounds of metabolic circuit. Then we'll go eat breakfast, and then you could train with the rest of the pro group. And you were like, all right, you tell me to do it, I'll do it. And I'm like, trust me, it's going to pay off. And they became your biggest fans, and vice versa.
Right. And that's the thing, Chaz, is like you taught me to do things different and not to settle. And I think a lot of kids nowadays, that's what they do. And when you talk about that 19-inning game, is like, I didn't want to come out. I want to try to figure out how to get through any situation I get put in. Like you survive or die.
19 innings, and everything was won at home plate. Wasn't it a controversial call?
Controversial call. It kind of flipped the script on that. Why there's replay nowadays. He ended up having to apologize to me. I didn't attack him. I just said, you're going to be so disappointed in yourself because, like, at the end of the day, like, that guy's trying to do his job the best he can. Right. He had a lapse in judgment, and he made a mistake. We move on. We come back, and we do what we can the next day. But if they told me to suit up and play the next day after 19 innings, I would have done it in a heartbeat because that's the standard I set for myself. And it started as a kid, and then it just grew into something even more special when I came in to visit you for the first time, and you kind of push in the envelope and teach me that I'm my own best investment. I'm the guy that I got to pour back into.
You're the CEO.
Right. I took that to an extreme. I don't know if you remember that, like that. I think it was my second or third year I ended up living in your guest house because I felt like the only way I could really, truly take that investment in myself, make sure I'm eating clean, eating proper. I can't be at home with mom and dad and getting cookies and, getting those bad jujus at home that I was getting. So I moved into your guest house for an off season with a buddy, Todd Martin, who came in and trained. And I think like nowadays kids don't understand this. They don't understand what it takes. Like if you're really, really comfortable where you're at, a lot of times that's going to pull you back whether you realize it or not. You have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations to understand, hey, this is how I'm going to make it. Like if you have that survival instinct and that adrenaline starts pumping, I learned it when I was out in the woods with you and you would just leave me. I didn't know where I was going. I just knew, but it's funny. It's funny, but it's so true because like you would literally say, all right, we're out in 5 and 2 hours later, we're still out in the woods. And it was all part of the game of getting the most out of me. Because I was holding myself back because I was a people pleaser. I was a guy that wanted to be coachable and I wanted to be liked. And I've completely flipped my script and understand who I am and what makes me successful. And honestly, Chaz, if we were going about this right now and I was 21 years old with all the analytics, all the technology and the way I'm willing to work, I don't think we could get beat. I don't think there'd be a threshold for me anymore because guys like me and guys like you and guys like Harrison Smith and Whitey, there's more answers to the questions on the baseball side, football side than there's ever been. You are already perfecting the athletic standards. Now you have the opportunity to do that on an actually sports specific side. I mean, we would take over the world if we were 21 years old again. I mean, it's amazing that kids don't take advantage of what they can, especially guys like you, because there's not many of you.
Well, and you go back to that one point is it's not that I'm trying to make you me, I'm just trying to bring out the best of you. And you hit on that great point is after that 19th inning game, I'm telling you, Ben, this guy, the guy was called safe, correct?
Correct.
Okay, he was called safe as a catcher. And what you just said to the ump just tells me what type of heart class, God-driven man you are of going, hey, you're going to regret that or you're going to be sorry. Where, a Guinea Italian like me, I would have been up in his face like George Brett, and you're just, you still, like you said, you still walk with a big stick and you're still, very intimidating, but you showed that grace that all you guys have that special walk, of like, hey, make mistakes or whatever, but that's who you are, bro.
Well, I mean, I think there's something to be said. I mean, you have to walk in your faith on a daily basis, and like it comes out more by what you're doing on a day-to-day front than it ever will in the sense of the way I'm going to talk about it. I could sit here and we could go back and forth and sound like theologians, or I could just go out and do a workout with somebody and show them. I mean, there's so much talk, especially with social media. We have podcasts now. People will talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. Just shut up and start working and start showing people the grace you have. Go out and to the community, give your money away, do things that are going to give people that light. Don't try to talk the light into them. And one thing I live by, Chaz, is I don't care if I'm the starter, the reliever, or the closer. I just want to be a part of being able to plant a seed, and whoever gets in that person's life and puts water on that seed and helps them grow and the best comes out, and then they close it and they find their faith in Christ, or like they just move into a better human being. That's what it's about. It's not about what I can do by the way I can, throw some word slang at you. It's about what I can do by actually showing you the grace that I want to give you within my heart that's been put in my heart.
Well, I mean, and that's why you work so damn hard. Is you are a lot of heart with a lot of talent, and it's the best combination that you could have. And you're so damn successful in everything you've been doing, just because your drive is the same since the day I met you. And you're right. I don't do that anymore. I used to put people on those bikes just to see what they had in their head. Because the body could go. It's the head that stops them. How old are you now, Mikey?
34.
Woo! I remember that. That's a nice age.
Hey, that's when I started with you. You were 34 when I started with you.
No way. Really?
Yeah. I thought about that before we got on.
You did?
Isn't that wild? Yep.
34.
Hey, yep. You were in every workout, every day. We'd be in there 3-4 hours. And then we'd go mountain bike. We'd go to Earth Fair. You were in it through and through. I mean, you're talking about 16, 17 hours a day. I mean, that's what guys don't understand is like, things take time. I mean, you've been around for a long time. You have mentors. You have guys that poured into you, but you've never stopped that grind. And you can't. Life is going to end at some point. We're all going to have to. One thing for certain in life, we're all going to die. And do you want to walk away and say, "Man, I wish I would, or I wish I could have"? No, you want to fall asleep because you're dead. I don't have anything left. I put it all out into this world. I gave everything I had. I'm leaving my legacy, and you fall in the dirt, you move on, you go to heaven. And that's how you live your life, day in, day out.
Fall in the dirt. I love it.
Yeah, man.
I like that one. I like that. Yeah, no, that's Ben, what you get with Mikey is honestly, when I say a miniature, I don't mean in stature. The guy's built like a brick shit house. I'm just saying a younger version of almost, because you don't think half the time any of the kids at this, when they start with me or listening. But, yesterday I had a kid go, this is crazy, Mike. I had a kid go, I've been battling this week with not Jesus, but Satan, because I'm like, man, something is going to go down. I got a weird feeling this week about Satan, because we always talk about God and Jesus, but nobody talks about that Satan is real. Like he is, he comes in all forms and fashions, from music to people, because people forget he was in a choir. You know what I'm saying? Like, so Satan's a real dog. So he's been on my heart this week. And that's what I've been studying with a few people this week. I have them coming over to the gym. Hell, now the gym is like a real church. You know, I have people come over at dead times from like 1 to 3 and, you know, just pour my heart and soul out to where I am in life. And a kid came up to me yesterday and I said, hey, Coop, I said, man, you asked for some verses last week. You texted me and wanted a couple Bible verses. And he was like, yeah. He goes, I said, why was this? And this was yesterday when I had one of my Christian advisors in here talking to me about Satan. He walked up to me and he goes, remember about 2-3 years ago, I was walking through the wood gym and you stopped me and you whispered in my ear and you said, Satan is real? Dude, I got chills yesterday. Not only chills, but I started crying of how strong that was, okay? Now, Mikey, I'll go a third step on this, Ben. And I don't know what your walk is, and that's fine, whatever it is, but this is strong. This is like coincidence or whatever. When I asked my Christian advisor to come over and talk, I never mentioned the topic. She just said, oh, I could be there at 1:30. Cool, okay. Never mentioned the topic. She walked in. I told her about the topic, what I've been working with this, I don't know, working, struggling, whatever, you know, we would say with that of like, man, Satan is on my heart right now. Something's going on. When I told her that, Mikey, she said, hold on for a minute. She went out to her car and brought me 3 books on spiritual warfare. You explain it. You're the God guy.
I don't think we have to explain it. I think it's a God thing. A great example of this is I just went and spoke at a ring ceremony. I had this whole like outline lined out. I can't actually like write a script because I had 2 learning disabilities, blah, blah, blah. And I had to learn how to kind of manipulate. And I'm on air now, which is mind-boggling to me, Chaz. But I went up there with the anticipation to talk about choices and how choices will really are the stepping stone in your life. And no matter what circumstances you've had in your life, you know, the choices that you make from them are who you're going to be. So I go up there and I'm like, all right, cool. We're going to show my hype video and I'm going to talk about affirmations. And it's this cool hype video when I hit really well in Colorado. It was my best year after knee surgery. It's kind of how I start every, time I go speak. And he played the wrong video, Chaz. He played the year. So I had a highlight film of every year I played. He played 2016 where my dad had cancer. I had every trial and tribulation you could possibly think of when it came to baseball. I played on 5 teams. I almost failed a drug test because they didn't turn in my paperwork. I've had ADD since I was a kid with learning disabilities. All these things were going wrong. And about my dad's story, how bad it is. His life completely changed after that year, but that year was really, really tough. And so I flipped the script and I literally told these people, all right, well, obviously I wasn't supposed to speak about what I was supposed to speak about today because this guy pulled up a video I didn't even know was on my iPad. And this is a God thing. So let's roll. I went to Real Town real fast. Real Town. You could have dropped a needle in there because they were celebrating, and I changed it to flip that like, yeah, this is a celebration, but this is the beginning, and it could either be the beginning to the end or the beginning of the beginning, and you can move forward and be what this is right now throughout your life, or this could be the highlight of your life. And it changed everything, and it was 100% a God thing. And there was a couple of kids that came up to me at the end, and they just lingered. They didn't say anything. They just lingered, and I could tell they had been through some of the issues that I had been through, and they just wanted to see if they could migrate towards me, maybe learn something, and they reached out on social media. Sure enough, they didn't have that power to talk to me then, but they got behind that phone, and they talked to me a little bit, and it's been good. And that's the thing is like, Satan's real, and so often people put the blame on God. Oh, God's making me go through this. God is making me do this. I went through this because God wanted me to. No, like we have a broken world. Like Satan's everywhere. There's spiritual warfare around us everywhere.
And at the end of the day, ride.
What up?
Yeah. Hey, that's Nikki.
No.
We'll talk right when we get off this after a couple minutes and wrap with them. No, you're right.
No doubt. But that's the reality in this life, man. Like, people, like, they don't want to talk about the bad. They just want to talk about the good, and they want the fluffy, right?
Right.
Right. But it's not fluffy. It's real.
I gave you props on this one with Mike McKenry. This is my guy. What'd you say? How we were talking yesterday, how you said I tapped you on the shoulder a couple of years ago and said, "Hey, Satan's real." Yeah. Isn't that crazy? It's well, I mean, it's our platforms, bro, and like your platform, you're gravitable. You know, we talked about the push and the pulls on all these podcasts. Is like people want to be around you because of who you are and what you're doing and what you keep doing, and it's amazing, and the growth. I'm telling you, man, either I got to come there or you got to come up here soon, because we got to do one across the table. And then like Whitey did, he loved the 24 hours. You know, you guys are always busy, and I understand where everybody is, but like he had 24 hours. He had a Friday afternoon wood gym. You know, we ate some good food at the house, woke up, got a workout in, did his podcast, was back at Charlotte. And he was like, I loved it, just to
name the day.
Name the day. I can't. Yeah, well, if anything, I got Atlanta Braves catcher in, the Washington National guy, Nikki. It would be great for you to come in and show these guys how it's show them the Petrone way, as we say. Take them to school, put them in the bus, whatever you got to do, just to go. Like this is how This is how we do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. But you could show them, you could be that example. They're getting after it, but that era that we had, I mean, it's always going to create different eras, and it's never going to be that same era ever again. I'm a different person at 51. Social media is different. I know more than I knew then. We call it stupid training, but it all worked. Remember what we always said? More is more. And
more is more.
Mikey,
for the love of God, more is more.
I'm going to send you my new gear. It says it on the back, and that's what we're doing with that second podcast with one of your mentors that you love, is Dr. James Chewy, is do more. And do more means, getting people to move more, do more love, do more Bible, do more, just do more. So when people go, oh, well, I work out 3 times a week. Well, let me tell you something. There's 7 days. So 3 days isn't getting it. As you get older, you got to do more. And I'm not telling you to have to, join a health club, do trail walking. As this guy, Ben, this guy's an animal. He did the trail running when I did the mountain biking with a Rottweiler. He had to. This guy was like my son.
I had to pull that Rottweiler.
He did. Yeah. China was done. I don't know if it was China or Cam, but yeah,
it was Cam.
It was Cam. Where Rotties don't run well. After about 10 yards, they're done. So he was the cat that was in excellent condition to where I'm like, dude, I got a mountain bike with you. I can't keep up with you on the trail run. Because the trail runs are a whole different animal. We did what people think they're doing now, and I'm still doing it. Is we cross-train, not CrossFit, cross-train. Nothing wrong with CrossFit. We cross-train. We like Pennington said, you have done all the disciplines because you've merged all the disciplines. And that's what I tried to do with guys like you. Not all the guys, because all the guys aren't wired like that. And that's what you were trying to say about me, is I got to figure out which guys are wired to get under the bar, which I mean by snatch, which guys are wired to pull the bar, which I mean by deadlifts, which guys are wired to jump over hurdles, jump up on a box. I haven't forgotten, jump up on a box and it slips out, and this man slammed his head, and not on the nice turf in there, on some outdoor carpet cement, and he was lights out. We put him in here in the desk. I wanted to go to the emergency room. He didn't want to go, and this sumbitch finished the workout. This is the man, the myth, the legend, Mike McKenry. And thank you for coming on. I want to ask one question. What's your snatch?
235, my friend.
Woo!
Hey, hold on. At 215. That's
it's always
coming. I told you. Hey, I told you this is going to be my time. The standard is going to be met. I told you I want to carry on your legacy, whether I'm training training people through your name or whatever. But the one thing is the standard, the 2.5 times my body weight with the back squat, the deadlift, double that front squat.
10 to 20 pounds over your body weight on snatch is our standard. And a lot of people talk it, but a lot of people don't walk it. Mike McKenry, the myth, the man, thank you so much. We're going to blow out of here. I'm going to go get some lunch and then get back in here. Well, I'm going to mountain bike and listen to a podcast and try to hone that skill a little bit more. Everybody's like, Jesus, what are you, Johnny Carson right now? Hello. All right, I love you. Hey, stay on. I want you to talk to Nikki for a minute, okay?
All right, sounds good. Love you too, brother.
Love you, babe.